welcome to Storyboard. I'm Shibani Gharat. In today's special conversation, we delve into the world of luxury home decor with Amit Syngle, Managing Director and CEO of Asian Paints. Now, Asian Paints has redefined elegance with its Royale Glitz collection, transforming walls into a canvas of every design story. Syngle discusses the brand's latest campaign featuring Deepika Padukone, where the paint itself takes center stage. He also addresses the rising competition from Birla Opus and shares his expectations for this year's festival season. Listen into this chat. Amit, welcome to CNBC TV 18, and this is sort of our annual catch-up ahead of the festival season.
Absolutely.
This time you're launching another new TVC for Royale Glitz. With this new TVC, you want to showcase Glitz, Royale Glitz, as a starting point, not just for paints, but for reshaping your imagination for the home decor space, so to speak. So tell us more with this new launch and with this new TVC, how do you want the consumers to engage with Royale Glitz and also with Asian Paints?
As we see that every home today has a story to tell, and Asian Paints, being a decor expert and an authority, gives totally a strong voice to it. By virtue of this, what we are redefining in terms of the way we look at decor, we are anchoring a Royale creme de la creme finish which comes with glitz, and really taking that as centric to design, which really kind of sets the decor for other walls in a room, in a set, which kind of comes in. So it's basically the inspiration which possibly comes in from the finish, which sets your imagination wild in terms of what you can do from the point of view of getting the walls in the home done in a very, very beautiful manner as we see it. So I think this is a totally different area in terms of how we would like to really reimagine and really put the whole area of decor in a very, very different way, so that today people have an element of inspiration. At the same time, they look at really decorating their homes in a very different manner.
Deepika, although has been associated with Royale Glitz for many years, but this also marks a re-entry with this campaign. So tell us more.
So we were very, very excited because she's come in from after a while in terms of looking at it, and as we know that she brings in a very, very strong blend of global luxury, grace, along with sophistication, which she does. And so I think it is her self-expression which we have kind of really highlighted in terms of how she goes about in terms of decorating the piece, and how she's inspired by the finish to really lend various decor walls which kind of really come. And therefore I think she really sets the whole area of the brand aspirations right in the right space which comes in. She comes with a fresh energy, she comes with a little feeling of nostalgia. We think all those are great in terms of what it works for the film.
And how are you balancing, keeping the aspiration alive while, opening Royale Glitz to a much wider audience, making it more accessible to a much wider consumer base?
So we feel that, reimagination of spaces is deeply personal, and it is rooted in what we call as the self-expression, memories, lived stories, and so on and so forth, which is a universal emotion which kind of spreads across a segmentation of people to that extent. And therefore we feel that it can be broad-based in terms of a certain kind of emotion where people see their reflection of what they are in terms of the homes to that extent. And therefore what we did was very clearly that how do we kind of facilitate it very easily, and therefore we looked the whole backdrop of using a Glitz decor guide as a tool which really becomes one easy tool for people to really imagine their walls in terms of what it can be done. And therefore from plain finishes which offered by Royale Glitz to how today you can appropriate textures and wallpapers along with it, so that the entire mood of the home changes and you get something which you have never imagined.
Absolutely. And as I mentioned right in the beginning, this is sort of our annual meeting to catch ahead of the festival season. So what is your expectation from this year's festival? The demand has been subdued so far for, the entire paints as a whole. Also home decor space saw degrowth. So are things going to change around the festival?
So we've already seen that in Q1 we had seen some shoots of recovery in the urban centers, while rural economy has been doing much better. We have had a very good monsoon overall. While we have a shorter festive season which is coming, we are still very, very excited in terms of the excitement around it, in terms of what's happening, because the excitement is coming because of the new finishes, the newer launches, the newer communication in terms of what we are launching. We feel that it's a concentrated period, but it is still going to be strong from a point of view of a concentrated recovery, which we are going to see. So for that point of view, I think we are fully prepared in terms of looking at really galvanizing emotions, bringing new things, bringing innovation as a big story, and how do we kind of really revive people's imagination to kind of really decorate their homes much, much better as they kind of look at the festive season.
And what are you putting your big bets on? You mentioned quite a few things, including innovation. So what are the big bets that you're putting on that will make the festive season really good for Asian Paints?
So one of the big things is that we are seeing some rekindling in terms of demand in the urban centers, which is going to be very, very important for us, especially when we look at the premium luxury category that has a larger kind of dependence in terms of how urban centers would do, and therefore a spew of products in terms of what's coming in terms of looking at Royale Glitz in a new avatar. We have All Protect, which we have launched, which is in the premium category. We have also a super luxury paint, which is Nilaya Arc, which has come in under the brand Nilaya to that extent, along with a lot of stuff which the market has not seen in terms of overall what we are doing. So I think innovation still is the backbone in terms of what we are looking in terms of bringing, but along with that a huge amount of marketing work, communication, including in terms of exciting the customer in a very strong manner, which we can do, so that in a smaller period of time we can get more bang for the buck in terms of the festive season.
So dialing in a big way on the premium and value added offerings, what about home decor? What is your strategy over there?
So we've always believed that today, as the brand is growing, one of the big areas of differentiation of Asian Paints is the way we look at home from a decor perspective. Today, I think most of the brands are getting into more the functional attributes in terms of what is coming. Asian Paints is the one which is really evoking the emotion around the home, and therefore Har Ghar becoming the very big story. And therefore, we have another surprise in terms of a new campaign which we want to unveil around Har Ghar, which basically is the core in terms of our decor imagination which we want to do, along with the fact that today the whole foray, whether it is the beautiful home stores which encapsulate decor under one roof, or it is the new Nilaya space which we have put in Mumbai, that really excites the customer both at the premium luxury and at a very mass level as well.
How are you defending your market share with the increase in competition?
So see, I've always maintained that competition has always been there. In fact, this industry is there where there's no impediment to new entry. And we have seen 4 or 5 new companies kind of coming in at this point of time to that extent. I think the core of the brand in terms of the way we are looking at is that we want to kind of really pack the brand saliency much more, really build the brand from a future perspective, because the way we are looking at it is more from an emotional point of view in terms of the tug, the legacy, the trust which Asian Paints offer, rather than in terms of looking at only the functional attributes which kind of come in. So I think that is a big story in terms of what we are looking at in terms of going forward. That is kind of coupled with the whole area of innovation, quality products, looking at segments which competition has never seen, bringing in prepositions which are very, very different from a point of view of ingredient story, the quality which we put into the market, and at the same time looking at decor backing up the whole paint and coating category in a very, very strong way. So what we feel is that while we will continue to guard some of the economy segments which are there in terms of looking at our reach and strength in terms of what we have with the relationship with the retailers, we want to really excite the premium luxury segment, which is going to be one big basis in terms of where we want to put the lever on as we go ahead in terms of building the brand Asian Paints.
How has, a challenger brand like a Birla Opus, is shaping like the entire paints market according to you, being like one of the most established players in the paints?
So we see, I think it's always good when challenger brands would come in, because it kind of brings the best in terms of possibly the leader to that extent. And that is something which is really happening, because we have looked at really revamping our full range in terms of the new quality, new ingredients like graphene, PU serum and so on and so forth, which we have put. We already had Teflon in terms of our products. We have looked at possibly a lot of new innovative launches. So we launched a product called Aero Clean, which kind of cleans the environment. We have a product which is called Infinia, which offers more than 25 years warranty for things like terraces and so on and so forth. So I think we have kind of given a leeway very strongly in terms of seeing that the whole area of brand emotion, looking at innovation, and at the same time bringing a lot of elements of cost excellence, which gives us the arsenal to really find our feet in the market very strongly in terms of the initiatives which we are taking. Along with that, we have done a host of things like a backward integration. We have started a white cement plant now in Dubai, and we are now looking at a very new age emulsion, which we are going to put into the market possibly around the beginning of the next year to that extent. So I think lots of things on the anvil, and we are really excited in terms of really altering the market as we go forward.
And tell us more also about your strategy, on e-commerce and also experiential. Like, I mean, we are meeting in this beautiful Nilaya store in Mumbai. I got lost in it, and I got lost in its beauty as well. So tell us more, what are you doing on that front, and what else do we see in the pipeline in the coming months?
So 2-3 areas. One is the whole area of experiential marketing and looking at really doing concept selling to customers based on what they kind of visualize. So visualization is a big part of our retailing strategy in terms of what we are taking. We have got now so many formats which we have implemented so that we have a very wide, big reach in terms of more than almost 500 towns across the country, where we have put retailing formats where the customer comes and really visualizes decor very differently from a point of view of just looking and speaking to a contractor or a dealer to that extent. So I think that's one thing which we have really kind of make it very, very big. Along with that, some of the other bigger formats, we have a Beautiful Home stores which have come in 2 big stores in Mumbai, one on Linking Road, one in Borivali, and in all metros we have beautiful stores which are almost concepts which range from 6,000 to about 16,000 square feet, which comes in, which gives customer one integrated decor under one roof to that extent, which comes in, which is a very big strategy for a leader to take, and it is a differentiated strategy in terms of what we see. And finally, to top it all, we said that there is a super luxury area in terms of what we need to kind of influence, given the fact that today spending power at the top end of families in terms of the real HNI is going up. Absolutely. And that is how Nilaya Anthology has kind of really come in, where we look at it as an international design destination for global luxury.
Sure, sure. Amit, you are in the habit of meeting dealers and contractors on a regular basis, speaking to them. With your market visit or meeting some of these dealers and contractors, what is one unique or interesting insight that you have picked up of late that you would like to share?
See, the one thing which we have picked up is that today we look at a lot of second generation which is kind of coming in terms of across the retail network, and we see that today the relationship which has been forged with the earlier generation is going to take a change. And therefore our entire thing which is coming with this generation is to make it far more educative, far more aspirational, far more forward looking in terms of how we can take it along with technology, retailing and some of those initiatives. So one thing which really comes out is that they seek from the leader in terms of what could be the differentiator for them in terms of technology, retailing, so that they can really forge their business in a very strong way ahead.
Great. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for these wonderful insights, Amit.
Thank you so much. It's been always a pleasure to kind of join you.
Time for a short break. On the other side, we have Harshdeep Chhabra, GCPL's global media head. We are speaking to him about many things, including AI-driven content creation and in-housing media functions and much more. Welcome back. In this conversation, we delve into the evolving landscape of brand marketing with Harshdeep Chhabra, GCPL's global media head. Under his leadership, GCPL has redefined its media strategy, integrating AI-driven content creation and in-housing media functions to enhance agility and cost efficiency. Chhabra shares insights into the company's rise to the third largest advertiser on the Indian television and how GCPL is dialing in on government broadcaster Doordarshan. Yes, you heard that right. Listen into this conversation to find out more. Harsh, welcome to CNBC TV 18.
Thank you so much.
Harsh, let's begin this conversation by asking you, what are some of the core pillars of Godrej's media strategy today?
First of all, thanks for having me on the show. It's a pleasure being here. I've grown up watching this show, and just being here is a dream come true.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for having me here. Now getting to the question that you asked about some of the thought processes and pillars behind GCPL's media strategy. Today, GCPL is seeking volume growth. Today, GCPL is seeking more spends on brand, less spends on cost to serve. Today, we are seeking more automation, use of tech, lesser people dependence, and finally more answerability towards the environment. So when we saw these as the measures of success of GCPL, which is what our Goodness Manifesto speaks about, we decided to define ourselves as a practice that will be future fit media solutions, or rather future fit attributable media solutions for business and brand growth, right? What that basically means that everything that we do needs to be oriented towards short-term business growth and long-term brand growth. These have to necessarily be media solutions. So we're not here to provide creative solutions or anything else. It has to be attributable to what media did, because a lot of time growth happens and somebody else takes, success has many fathers. So we wanted to be rightful about the success and own what media did, and at all points in time be future fit. So having said that, we went back and saw what our marketing first principles are. We defined those, which led us to know that all consumers in the market tend to pretty much behave the same when it comes to certain categories. Our competition buyers are similar to our buyers, so on and so forth. Branding continues to be extremely important. You need to prioritize over promotions. Building creative assets is extremely important. The right kind of creative assets is extremely important. And then to do so, we defined our media principles in conjunction with that. So we realized that because we are an FMCG company which is largely into home care and personal care, and we tend to be wanting to democratize our products, right? We need to reach out to as many people as possible at the lowest cost and make sure that they have their attention on us. So it's a conversation of effectiveness in the context of reach, right? Not cheapest GRP, but lowest cost per reach and lowest cost per attentive reach. So that's extremely important for us, and to make sure that every rupee that we are deploying is giving us business results.
You mentioned how, part of your planning and, media acquisition is in-house.
Yes.
And part is delegated to an Essence Mediacom in India and, several other outfits across, different markets around the world, including WPP Media. So tell us more then, what would be your advice to another player or another organization who is, probably toying with the idea of having an in-house hybrid kind of a media investment model?
So there are 4 T's that we look at. There is the entire aspect of trading, which we are dependent as far as the agency is concerned, and reservation trading, which is across the table negotiations, where we believe agencies with their heft are able to bring a lot more onto the table. The second important piece is troubleshooting for our brands and for our consumers, right? So trading, troubleshooting. The third important 3 is technology, where the agency themselves have been investing into their own craft, and how do we use some of their tools. And the fourth important T is talent. We believe that large agencies have global presence. They're able to come back and tell us more about the world from an outside-in perspective. So for example, if I want to upgrade myself to know what is happening in the world of TikTok, it's something that the agency is able to provide given their relationship with the TikTok ecosystem and things like that. So we have to be mindful of what we can add and what the agency can add back to us, and it's that symbiotic relationship that we need to work off. We don't have any hard rules on any of this. What we know is that all of us have to work together to make sure that business and brand growth is at the helm of what we do. We, at the end of the day, are in the business of selling soaps and hair color. We're not in the business of buying GRPs, and that's what we have to remember.
With so much consolidation happening both on the media side and the agency business side, with the whole WPP media coming into play, also so many legacy agencies merging together. Even on the media side, we have seen tremendous amount of consolidation. How does it change your strategy or impact your strategy?
70% of ADEX is with the top 10 media houses today. And we see going forward that will probably come down to 4, having control over 70% of the total addicts. So from 10 people holding, consolidation, that's the way forward. It's not 2006, 2007 where you have colors and you have NDTV Imagine and you have 9X and everyone pumping in money and so on and so forth.
Sure.
The last TV channel that was launched was probably a year and a half back. The large newspaper edition that came was probably 5-8 years back. So there is consolidation happening in the space. There is some amount of fragmentation in the regional OTT space, but overall it's all coming together. The way we are working towards this is we are placing big bets with the biggest. So we want to do JBPs, or we are doing joint business plans with the big houses. We are seeing how to partner them rather than use them, look at them as suppliers. We are seeing how to get a working relationship which is not restricted only to inventory media, but is also around content, it's also around data, and see how this entire ecosystem flows out for us. And one of the interesting things that we are looking forward to is the revival of Doordarshan. I think that's the one place where there's probably a dark horse in this entire race. They have everything going for them. They have data, they have transaction data, they have Aadhaar, they have a platform called DD Free Dish, they have content, they have cricket. It's just so obvious that that's going to be one big one.
It's very interesting. I need to understand, why do you find Doordarshan so compelling now in the era of Netflix and Jio Hotstar that we have?
As a consumer,
yeah,
I totally agree with you. As a marketer,
do you watch Doordarshan?
As a consumer, I don't.
Yeah.
Right. But I am not a representative of the consumers that my organization wants to reach out to en masse.
Sure.
I am one of the consumers of my organization stuff,
Yeah.
but I may not be the large majority of where my organization wants to reach out. Doordarshan has everything going for them. The fact is that across the globe, you will see that it's the government broadcaster who's done extremely well. And we also know that we can see it in front of us that with the kind of infrastructure that they have, like I just called out, the kind of, whether it's platform, whether it's data, the fact that e-com is there now, it's just about stitching it together. So I am quite fascinated with that's one space that I would really like to watch out for.
So for example, now you've put money on Kyunki Saas Bhi Kabhi Bahu Thi.
Yes.
What kind of properties would you like to see in the future on Doordarshan for you to put your monies
See, I'll tell you something. I think all broadcasters, not just Doordarshan, all broadcasters and all media houses should have the ability to give us inventory at scale, give us audiences that they reach out through interesting content. So that's one. Second is the ability to weave in our message into the editorial, right? So how do we not restrict ourselves to the inventory media that they are offering in terms of the ad breaks, but within the shows, what is it that we can do? And the third is the play of data and how granular they can get us an understanding of the consumer.
So also have like the dedicated brand and content
Yes,
teams that,
yes,
like
yes.
most of the channels do have. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining us today and thanks for sharing these insights.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
With that, it's a wrap on Storyboard this week. You can catch all of our content on Facebook, X and YouTube. Thanks for watching. We will be back same time next week. See you soon.